I have 134 users and 2 paying customers on my no-code AI SaaS tool that I had just built 1 month ago. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I go about getting these 134 users to even come to my platform. These are some tricks that maybe you guys can go ahead and implement. If you're building anything in AI and SaaS, watch along. It's all about vibe marketing. This whole video is going to be about vibe marketing, get leads, no shame, all these different things. Because quite honestly, people are going to want to use products with founders that they relate with. So it is really important that you understand your customer. That is one. Understand your exact user. Figuring out how to get them to convert onto the website is a whole different ballgame, and we'll get into that later. But the reality is, if you have an AI SaaS tool and you want to get customers, first thing is understand who that exact customer is. What is their mannerisms? What kind of characteristics? What kind of problems do they face? And how do you explain, how do they face those problems? How would they like those problems to be solved? How do you address that solution to that problem, right? Whether it's content, how do you address that in terms of reaching out and explaining that this is what the product does? So, for example, for me, I have been able to get all those 130 plus users onto the platform via Twitter. This is where I have been able to get myself indoctrinated into the algorithm to tell them that my ideal customer is e-commerce and paid agencies and media buyers. So what I started doing was infiltrating all of the searches on Twitter with e-commerce, D2C posts, paid agencies, everybody that was talking about meta ads, I would engage. Now this told Twitter, this guy, Basil, loves e-com. He loves paid agencies. He loves paid ads and meta. So you need to find what that is that your product is and go ahead and do those same searches on any of those social networks, whether it's Instagram, TikTok. The best filter is the algorithm itself. If it notices that you're spending time in certain topics, it will continuously shove that content into your face, which is ideally now your target customer. So basically become your target customer and do exactly what your target customer would be doing on those platforms. The algorithm will reward you and send all of these users there. Now, how do you find high intent individuals that are looking to even take action on, having their problem solved, or at least curious enough to be able to make that action of go onto your website? That's the second thing that we're going to be talking about. Go into the comments. Find a post that's being engaged very well, right? Go into the comments, and even if it has, three posts or 3 comments and it's not that active, it's the micro influencers and the micro accounts that is where you're going to find your highest engagement, because they're willing to give you their time. Why is that? They wouldn't even assume in any day that someone is going to be responding to them, right? If I have an account that only has 100 followers, I'm not sitting there and assuming that some guy's going to be reaching out to me and being like, hey, how you doing? What are you up to? I noticed that you like this. What, are you in e-commerce? Are you in AI SaaS? Are you building something and you want to spy on your competitors? So it's kind of like having a casual conversation with someone at the bar. You don't want to shove the information directly into their face, but you can spark that conversation, right? Ask those questions. And usually when you do it in a manner that's just chill, you can get people to respond. Now, these are all ways to do this, especially just early on. I'm not saying this is scalable, not initially. What you need to do to get to the point where you want to start activating scale is you need to do the grunt work. This is called guerrilla marketing, all right? The next phase is going to be Zara marketing. And I'm gonna share with you guys what Zara marketing is. But guerrilla marketing is exactly this. It's finding your ICP, your target customer, in those smaller accounts and engaging with them. And this is something that's gonna take a week or 2, and it's fine. But you're seeing the results actually in the first day that you're going ahead and taking that action. So the comment sections of active relevant posts, go over there and start engaging in the comment field. The third thing is Zara marketing. Zara marketing is create a demo. Create a demo, put some nice music in the background, some Zara music, as if you're going to Zara, and vibe. We're in the era of vibe coding. If you're vibe coding, the real way you vibe code, you need to be vibing. This all sounds retarded, but I promise you, it gets views. That is exactly how I was able to get 170,000 impressions on one of my videos, just for listening to good music that I knew that was going to hook the user who's watching it. Whether he liked seeing what it was that he was watching in that demo, that song was so fire, the retention was at that peak. They would watch, up until like the song drop was happening, which was, let's say at the 50-60% part, right? So I made sure that my aha moment for the product was happening before that, or right at that moment, right?
Like you didn't New York.
It's using the psychology and the emotions of music, for example, and adding that into something that's also a business related product, right? Or a product that you're selling to someone, but not making them feel that they're being sold something at the same time. That's the trick of sales. So Zara marketing has actually helped to get me up to 134 users. Now, it's not scalable, but what I have done is prepared myself and the platform to be able to save that data. So the fourth thing is adding Facebook Pixel. For me, that was a Facebook Pixel. Why? Because now on Facebook, I can go ahead and run a retargeting campaign using my content to be able to catch them now on Facebook, on Instagram. It was essentially tracking everything and everywhere my customer was going, right? So now when my customer would leave my platform after seeing it, because most times people aren't actually taking action in that moment. Most times users are on their phones and then they see that piece of content and then they save it later. So it'll start following them and show them the same content, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or any other of those platforms. And now the fifth thing, you have to be aggressively making content. So you want to build presence around what it is that you're building. Founder funnel is the only strategy that is going to be moving forward is going to build trust between you and the customer, period. Nothing else. If you're building a brand in 2026, and this is something that's even like any brand that's ever scaled over the course of the last 3 years has used this exact model. And then the ones that have become irrelevant is because they don't have this model implemented. People want to connect with the owner or the face of the brand, right? If I'm able to relate, now an e-commerce person is able to relate to me as someone who has been in the industry, right? Myself, I've been in the industry for 10 plus years. They can relate to my story. They can relate with the problems that I'm facing and they're facing. I understand my customer and those things that they're facing. So they need to know that, and they will know that as you make content and share your message. So it's a long game here. So if you guys are building anything in AI and SaaS, no code SaaS, please make sure you guys subscribe. I'm making videos every single day this week, okay? I'm gonna be sharing with you guys also what I'm doing with my AI SaaS, and I'm gonna be giving you guys updates, pretty good ones. And yeah, so subscribe and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.